Hello, Patreons! Welcome back to the Facts of Geek Life. I am the titular Charlie Carden. Glad to have everybody here. We are tackling a new episode of The Simpsons, and I'm rejoined by my stalwart, awesome partner, Candy McFarlin, aka Sweets, out there in Jackson, Michigan. How are you, my friend?
Much better than last time.
Right?
Cast is off.
Not quite as busted up. Oh,
not quite as busted up.
But you were busting a gut watching these episodes, I have no doubt, because season 5 is a jam. So in season 5 of The Simpsons, I was in high school. It's my senior year, looking by the date of the first one that we're doing, which is Treehouse of Horror. It says 1993. I graduated in 1994. So this was kind of prime time. You know, we started with season 4 because really it was season 3, in my opinion, like maybe about halfway through when they really started to hit a stride. Season 4 was gold. And then probably 5, 6, and 7, and even maybe going higher are still pretty gold. So we're going to continue to do these segments over time. But yeah, absolutely great stuff. But let's jump right in. Okay, we have several to talk about. The first one is episode 5 of the season, Treehouse of Horror 4. Directed by David Silverman, and Wraparound's written by Conan O'Brien. Wraparound, I assume, meaning the interstitials to begin. And yeah, this is when Conan O'Brien was a writer for the show. But the bulk of the writing done by Greg Daniels and Dan McGrath and Bill Oakley and Josh Weinstein. Again, this was Halloween episode, came out on October 28 of 1993. So this was a parody of the Night Gallery, which I had to look up, and it was some Twilight-y zone kind of like, and here's a vignette of horror, or whatever it is. Bart tells 3 scary stories based on paintings, and I'll read the whole thing, and then we can just kind of break it through as we go through. Segment 1, The Devil and Homer Simpson. Homer sells his soul to the devil, Ned Flanders, for a donut. Awesome. Terror at 5.5 feet. While riding the school bus, Bart discovers that there is a gremlin on the side of the bus. And Bart Simpson's Dracula, topical for his 1993, is when Bram Stoker's Dracula came out, or that version of it. The Gary Oldman version. The Simpsons are invited to a dinner at Mr. Burns' house, where Bart and Lisa discover that Burns is a vampire. God, where do we get started? I did that talking, you do the next talking. Get us rolling.
Well, okay, so Flanders is the devil. Like obviously.
It's always the last you suspect, so he says.
Yeah, exactly. And the fact that it was just like a donut, and there was no worry or concern. It was just like, where do I got to sign?
Yeah, right. Who said what now?
Yeah, exactly. Donut, sweet.
Early favorite line of mine is that, as always, all the employees at Springfield Nuclear Power Plant are always being watched on this huge bank of monitors that Mr. Burns sits in front of. And so Burns says to Burns says to Smithers, he says, "Who's that goat-legged fellow? I like the cut of his jib."
The cut of his jib.
And Smithers says, "That's the Prince of Darkness, sir. He's your 3 o'clock."
Yeah, exactly. That's like perfect.
Yeah, exactly.
And then looking into the fridge, he can't eat that last piece because then he'll, go to hell. So he's like, so he finds a little loophole and keeps it in the fridge with a bunch of signs that says "Daddy's Soul Donut." Like, it's like, do not eat.
If he had any brains, which he doesn't, because it's Homer Simpson, he would have just thrown that last bit in the trash, and he would have been safe. Yeah. But yes, that would killed the setup. So yes, he eats the donut, and then Flanders reappears, and I said, "Damn it, this makes me want a donut." I still didn't go get one though, because I wrote this weeks ago. But Homer said, or then the whole family comes down, and they're like, "Well, we want a trial to, determine, the evidence, blah, blah, blah." And they went in Flanders, the devil Flanders. "Oh, this is so much easier in Mexico."
And of course, who's the lawyer?
Oh, Lionel Hutz. Yes. Yeah.
Or Lionel.
Yeah. Yes.
Lionel Hutz, yes.
And he does throw out there, now
Lionel
this
Hutz.
is in between Homer going to hell for a day, but he says, "I watched Matlock in a bar last night. The sound wasn't on, but I think I got the gist of it."
This is like his criteria.
Oh my God. But
and I do like Blackbeard. Like what's one of my favorite lines of that entire episode is, "This chair be high, says I."
Homer, because the Devil Flanders makes Homer spend the day in hell between before the trial, and Homer in the donut eating machine. He has to keep eating donuts, and he just keeps going. I really referenced that recently in an episode of Secret Friends. I was talking about people in like Fast and Furious movies, which is something we talked about on today's show. So, yes, in the end of it, to cut to the quick, it's determined through a note that Marge owns Homer's soul and he's free, but Devil Flanders does turn Homer's head into a donut, and he says, "Oh, I'm so sweet and tasty." When Marge tells him that, stop picking at it. Tasty. And the cops are waiting for him outside. He's got to come out sometime, boys. All right, so onto the bus. This is a great parody of a Twilight Zone episode that starred a very young William Shatner before Star Trek. But was kicked it off with Milhouse going through his latest pack of Krusty trading cards. Krusty visits relatives in Annapolis, Maryland. Krusty poses for a trading card.
Trading card.
Oh my gosh.
Then when Milhouse is talking about all the, leaving himself open for like all the possible attacks. And he was like, even the dreaded Rear Admiral.
Martin in his Wang Computers t-shirt. Yes, exactly.
Yes.
So, yes. Oh, and so Bart first sees the creature. He runs up to Otto and he says, Otto, there's a gremlin on the side of the bus. And it's once again, just like last season, poor Hans Moleman driving a gremlin, like the car from Wayne's World for anyone who's, a 90s kid like us, and bumps into, crashes and explodes. And again, there's some things that make no sense. Why is Skinner on the bus? Why is Willie on the bus to go to school? But whatever. Yeah.
Well, Willie, don't forget, he had to put his mule down because it wouldn't walk in the mud.
Well, I had to put
17 bullets in him.
Oh, and then we get, I don't know if this is our first date, we get Uter, the foreign exchange student, and all his weird German candy.
I think it is. I was thinking that when I was watching it, that's our first Uter.
Yeah. You have an invader. That's okay.
I do.
She looks very pleasant. I keep mine out of here because they would be all over me. And not that they would jump up, but they would just sit at my feet and meow. And then I would get claws in my leg as they're trying to like, hello, can't you see me? But I digress. Yes. Yeah. And the gremlin seems to take an infinitely long time. He's pulling bits out of the bus. The whole thing is falling apart. But yes, in the end of it, Bart gets taken away to the funny farm, but the gremlin, the gremlin gets knocked off the bus. Flanders picks it up. Oh, it's trying to claw my eyes out, and it kills him, and it jumps up on the back, and it's holding his zombie head. So
just the little look, like he wraps it up in a blanket like a baby, and he's holding it, and the little like shifty look that the gremlin's doing, like, oh crap.
Yeah, right. I lied. I do have a cat in here, but this one's so passive. I bet she won't even come over here. So that's cool.
He's already sleeping.
Chronicles of the Cats. All right, moving along to the vampires and the midnight dinner at Burns' country house is the setup. So the news report is reporting on vampires attacks, and this is Kent Brockman said police are baffled. They suspect the mummy.
The mummy. So they destroy.
So just to be sure, we destroyed the Springfield Museum of Natural History.
And then when Lisa is trying to tell them about vampires, and they're like, "Oh, those are make believe," like Eskimos.
Yeah, right. And then they're sitting down at the dinner table. Lisa, Dad, this is blood. Correction, free blood. And then Bart and Lisa are poking around trying to find the vampire room, and they come upon a big neon sign: "To secret vampire room, no garlic." Super happy fun slide, and they're getting away, and Bart's like, oh, when's the next time I'm going to be here? Yeah, dumps him right into all the vampires. So
there's a great line when they go down into the basement, though, and they see all the coffins.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's no different than the basement at Grandpa's home, old folks' home.
Grandpa's room. Oh, my God. Oh. So beer doesn't kill brain cells, Homer says. Let's go back to the building thingy where our beds and TV is. Grandpa Simpson, we have to kill the boy. He's a vampire? I didn't know he was a vampire.
And then the Salem's Lot floating like outside of the window. Like that's when I was a kid, Salem's Lot scared the absolute bejesus out of me. Like I was terrified. So I have a quick non sequitur. It's kind of a sequitur.
Please. A kind of sequitur. Yes,
kind of sequitur. When I was a kid, I watched Salem's Lot for the first time on Halloween. I went to bed that night and I heard something outside my window. And, again, there's a scene in Salem's Lot that the Simpsons parodies where, they're all floating outside the window asking Lisa to let them in. And that happened in the Salem's Lot. And I am so scared. I don't want to look out my window. I finally decide I'm just going to, I know there's nothing out there. I'm on the second floor. I know there's nothing out there. I go and just rip up the shades. And there is literally a bat clinging to the screen on my window. And I flipped out. Literally a bat on Halloween clinging to my window.
Oh,
after I watched Salem's Lot.
God in heaven. Holy cow. All right. So, yes, they got to go up, take care of Mr. Burns. And Homer's line is, do I dare kill my boss? Do I dare live out the American dream? Aw, don't drive the stake into the vampire's crotch, Homer.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then the Charlie Brown Christmas ending.
Oh my gosh, yes. And I do love Marge's line where she reveals she's the head vampire. And well, I do have a life outside this house, And then ooh, oh my God. So now we didn't do a Treehouse of Horror last time, but I think without a doubt as we go through, those are the most fun because they're not quote unquote canon or they don't follow the regular continuity, so they can do all kinds of crazy stuff. It doesn't really matter. Okay.
Right.
Episode 11 of the season is Homer the Vigilante. I think this one has my favorite line of the season. We'll get to the end of that. So, directed by Jim Reardon, John Schwartzwelder is the writer. From January of 1994, a crime wave hits Springfield caused by the elusive cat burglar, and Lisa's sex phone is stolen, so Homer agrees to get it back. The police are ineffective, so Flanders creates a neighborhood watch group, which Homer takes charge of. However, Homer's incompetence causes the vigilante group to become a mob and commit more crimes than it prevents, and they are unsuccessful in catching the cat burglar. With the help of Grandpa, Homer discovers that the burglar is charming senior citizen named Malloy. Malloy is arrested, but he tricks the citizens of Springfield into thinking he has hidden millions of dollars, and he escapes during the ensuing rush to find the money. Oh, my very, very first right off the bat, you see the cat burglar, you see a POV, he's walking up to the Simpsons house. Something we've all done. Gone to bed at night, closed the door and locked it with your car keys on the other side. If you're being honest, there's no one on earth who has not done that. But yes, robbed the saxophone. And, they get up the next morning, everybody's saying what they're stolen. Bart says, they stole my stamp collection. And everybody's laughing at him. Oh, my goodness.
Poor Bart.
Yeah, I loved how the cat burglar also had an enormous calling card. It looked like a menu from a restaurant.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, first of all, the cat burglar was Sam Neill. This was just after he did Jurassic Park. So that was really awesome at the time, for it to be Sam Neill. And in that very beginning scene, one of my favorite things is he's sneaking into the house and Santa's little helper's there and he, lures him away with some sausages and then Homer's sleepwalking. He hands him sausages and he's just going to town, sleeping.
Yeah, right. Sleep eating. Oh my goodness. So yes. And there's a crime wave across, you see Kent Brockman on the news and he's interviewing a pundit for a academic and saying, Professor, would you say it's time for everyone to panic? Yes, I would, Ken.
Yes, I would.
Would you say it's time for us to crack open each other's skulls and eat the gooey goodness inside? Yes, I would, Ken.
And then we have all the updated security. Everyone's trying to get their security updated because of this cat burglar and the automated house that will get up and run away, trips and catches on fire.
Right, and it's Professor Frank is demonstrating this.
Professor Frank.
He's like it falls down, and he says, "Well, the real people won't burn as quickly." And then with the lasers, poor Jasper, who is Grandpa's best friend, gets shot, and he says, "Oh, it's in my cataracts. I can see." No, I can't.
No. Easy come, easy go.
Easy come, easy go. Oh, we have one of my favorite Apu lines because he's standing on top of the Quickie Mart with a shotgun. Thank you for coming. I'll see you in hell.
So because Lisa's saxophone is gone, she starts a new instrument that Homer gives to her, which is the jug.
Never stop in the middle of a hoedown.
Never stop in the middle of a hoedown.
Oh,
just
my gosh.
blowing on that jug.
Oh my gosh. Who should lead our group? Someone else? Me or someone else? Someone else.
I'm filled with piss and vinegar.
It
used to be just filled with vinegar.
Right. Homer to Grandpa. Oh, Dad, you're very old now and old people are useless. The best thing you can do is set a good example. And this is when they're outside the museum after the cat burglar has said he's going to steal the world's biggest zirconium.
Cubic zirconia.
Oh, my God. So... Oh my God. Yeah, giving the vigilantes guns as a bit has not aged well. That was one note that I made, especially in this culture. It's not, 30 years ago, it was cheeky because it was The Simpsons. Oh, right. Homer reminiscing about placing himself in Dr. Strangelove. Oh, by going to the military surplus. Do not ride the bomb.
Do not ride the bomb.
Oh my God.
Can you swing a sack of doorknobs? We're talking to Jimbo about, can you swing a sack of doorknobs? Can I?
Oh, my God.
And here's a sack. You supply your own knobs.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, they're going around trying to arrest people up and with a megaphone, and Bart gives that to Homer at the Ratmaster 2000.
Ratmaster.
They're following him and saying, it's Hammer! So, yeah, when they accost Jimbo, like you were just referencing, they said, why are you doing that graffiti? And Homer says, it makes me feel like a big man. Let me check the list. Yep, it's on there. Yeah. That car was upside down when I got here. The various now we have Homer. Here we go. We get Homer on Kent Brockman being interviewed, but not before we get who polices the police. I don't know, the Coast Guard. But we get my favorite Homer quote here is that Kent Brockman's going through all these stats, sack beatings are up 800% and all this different stuff. And then Homer says, I use this one all the time. People can come up with statistics to prove anything. And he wrote 40% of people can tell you that. FORF-TEE. That's what I have in my notes. So he makes up a number, but it's okay because giving stats, anybody who says, "Oh, I'm 90% sure," it's all bullshit. Most stats are completely fabricated. Oh, and then Homer says that we get to the Cubic zirconia bit, and he says, "Dad, the best way for you to help is to set a good example." And then they look over, and the old people are stealing stuff out of the museum. What are you doing? Hey, we were on a break.
We're on our break. So then they catch the cat burglar, and everyone starts to get their stuff back. And one of my favorite parts is that Selma gets back her lock of MacGyver's hair, and she's like, "I'll add it to the ball," and she's got like a whole ball of like MacGyver hair clippings
that she carries on her person.
Yeah, that she carries on her person. Yes.
And Homer lets the zirconium get stolen. And when he's accosted, he says, "Oh my God!" He gets distracted. "Oh my God! Underage kids drinking beer without a permit." I wasn't asleep. I was drunk. Oh.
And then it's so when I was a kid, I used to watch It's a Mad World all the time. So
the big race and all the vehicles. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I loved that reference, and they used to say music and I loved the reference in that episode.
Jimbo closes out after they find that the mob is ineffective. He says, "Now I don't believe in nothing. I'm going to law school." No! Oh my gosh! Let me. And the cat. Grandpa's. Shut up. I've had my moment. I do that one too.
Yeah. I've had my moment.
Let me assure you, and Sam Niels Malloy. Let me assure you, your town has stolen my heart. Oh, he's so charming. Let's let him go. And then, he fakes them all out. And then they're obviously, as we said as we learned in the summary, that's how he escapes. But the last shot, as the credits start to roll, is everybody's still digging a hole. And they say, "We're not going to find it here. How are we going to get out of here?" And they keep digging faster. And someone says, no, dig up, stupid.
Yeah, exactly. We'll dig our way out.
Oh my gosh. Oh, yeah. All right. Any final thoughts? Awesome episode. Lots of great quotables.
Yes.
Lots of great quotables. Okay, well, speaking of moving on, this might be my season's favorite, but we'll see. I made my notes at the bottom. Episode 15 is Deep Space Homer, directed by Carlos Becerra. David Merkin did the writing from February 24th, 1994. That is one day after my 18th birthday. Isn't that weird? I know. Isn't that bizarre?
Is.
That is so weird. NASA decides they need to hire more average Joes in order to get higher television ratings. They recruit Homer and Barney to train to be the first average Americans in space. Oh, God, so good. Homer, who wants to be respected, is the winner by default, the two most beautiful words in the English language, and goes into space with Buzz Aldrin. While there, he causes a lot of havoc and eventually breaks the handle on the space shuttle's hatch. Homer inadvertently seals the door with the inanimate carbon rod. Yeah, and the shuttle returns to Earth. The rod is hailed as a hero, but Homer gains the respect of Aldrin and his family. Oh, where do you even begin with an episode so great? You go first. I need to rest my blabber.
So, just even in the very, very beginning, when everyone's walking through the X-ray machine, and he's like, and they're describing what they see, and it's like, boozy, two kids, dressed up as an adult, and then they see Homer all hunched over, walking like a gorilla. Oh,
hey Homer, hey guy, and he's scratching himself. Walks through. Yes, that is during the all employees trudge to the yard for mandatory employee week of the work award, and also gives us, and I apologize if I don't quote this exactly, Union Rule 26: every employee shall win Employee of the Week, regardless of gross incompetence or rank odor. But it starts a gag that runs throughout the episode. The real winner that week is the inanimate carbon rod, to which Homer says when he's describing the incident to the family at home that it's all a popularity contest. But
yes, but Bart is like, you got to meet the rod?
You got to meet the rod? Oh, they were going to show some close-ups of the rod. That comes at the end. But yes, Homer's line, TV respects me. It laughs with me, not at me. And he turns it on and it's somebody laughing, calling him an idiot. But then he's watching the NASA launch. This gives me another one of my favorite lines. This NASA launch that they're talking about is designed to study the effect of weightlessness on tiny screws. And the crew is a mathematician, a different kind of mathematician, and a statistician.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Things aren't going so good for NASA. That launch is beaten in the ratings by a Connie Chung Christmas, which I always love. They're like, what can we do to get better ratings? And the guy goes, well, maybe we should finally tell them that all the chimps that we sent into space came back super smart. And a chair whips around and there's a chimp in a suit with a cigar. And says, no, I don't think we'll be telling them that. And then he roller skates off. Oh my God. The TV spoofs of Home Improvement and Married with Children, which made me think of you, were right on. Yeah, let's have sex. No pig. And then he flushes the toilet. Yes, exactly.
And that's, I almost threw on my Peggy costume while I was in my Selma makeup because I'm like, hey, actually that'd be canon because she was in a Simpsons episode. So
exactly correct, but in real world because he was watching Fox.
Yes.
So the FBI come and get him, and to which he spurts, check with the FBI. I have a file. Oh.
So there's a line when they're trying to decide who they're going to pick for this, and they want more like a average Joe. And one of the scientists say, I suggest a lengthy, inefficient search at the taxpayer's expense, of course.
Yeah, right. Oh, yeah. And then they finally, obviously, they choose Homer and Barney, and they said no alcohol. And Barney, no alcohol during the training. And Barney, 3 whole weeks with only wine. And that, he brings the family down. They're all at Cape Canaveral, and Bart's like, well, I feel so full of. What's the opposite of shame? Homer says, less shame? Yeah. Oh, my gosh. And for no reason, at the end of the training montage, they have the Muck Time fight from Star Trek. Dun, 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 dun. And yes, I also cited the one NASA guy had the thing where you bonk somebody over the head. And it was I cited from that old cartoon, The Far Side. They called it a whack bonk because you whack somebody all over. Yeah. Loved it.
So they get to the end of their training and they have a celebratory drink And as soon as Barney goes to have a drink, he says, "It begins," and then
it's a jetpack.
he starts
flies into a wall.
Jetpacks flies off, but then the kicker is that was non-alcoholic champagne.
It's all in the mind. Oh, so Homer's. I love the Itchy and Scratchy cartoon that the kids are watching. That the violence warning is at the end of the cartoon, so that was helpful.
Being sawn in half by Saturn, the rings of Saturn.
Yeah, exactly. Then so Homer is, the family goes home, and so Homer's about ready to get on the launch. He's having his reservations, and then he's talking to Marge on the phone, and he's saying, "Homer, if you don't do it, you'll always regret it." And then this is one that always seems to come up with that Todd quotes when he says the time he could have gone and met Mr. T at the mall. Yeah. And when I finally got there, he had just left, and I asked the mall guy if he was going to come back, and he said he didn't know. Oh no! So the rocket's going to launch. It's got your standard IRS surveillance satellite check. Children's letters to God check.
Yeah.
They're in the room, and all this equipment is just designed to measure TV ratings.
TV ratings, yeah. How does the launch?
Oh my gosh!
Used to measure TV ratings.
And then you get into the real classics. They're in space, and Homer decides it's snack time, and he opens a bag of potato chips and then zero G. They fly everywhere, and Buzz Aldrin said, "Be careful, they're ruffled." Yeah. And then he's flying home, he's smashed, and then all the ants get loose, and it was protect the queen. Which one's the queen? I'm the queen.
I'm the queen.
And then
freedom, horrible freedom.
Oh, I know. Yeah, the other astronaut says, "You fool! Now we'll never know if ants can sort tiny screws in zero gravity." Oh, yes. And then their in-flight entertainment is they bring in a James Taylor, a musician, has a cameo, to which Homer says, "Former President James Taylor." Yes. Oh, God. Look, Aldrin, I'm not as laid back as people think. Now I'm going to play, and you're going to float there and like it.
But who really likes James Taylor, though? Really?
I mean, I suppose. But anyway, okay, another all-time classic. When they have the what's you're seeing in the shuttle in the shuttle cockpit, and a big ant floats right up to the screen, and then it goes out. So Kent Brockman is reporting, and he says, "There is no denying the ants will soon be here. And I, for one, welcome our new insect overlords. I can be helpful, rounding up others to toil in their underground sugar caves." Oh, that one comes out, a podcast that I listen, an Australian podcast I listen to. They're big Simpsons fans. That's a line that gets tossed out a lot. Oh, James Taylor keeps forgetting his own lyrics, signing them backwards. And then, as we said, the carbon rod saves the day, makes the cover of Time magazine. In Rod we trust.
In Rod we trust. The
end, with a great homage from 2001 in the Fox satellite that bounces off Homer's head. And
little baby Homer, yep.
What a gem. Oh, I don't think anything could top that until we get to... This was actually the first episode of the season, so we did these a little out of order because, why the hell not?
Why not?
Homer's Barbershop Quartet, directed by Mark Kirkland, written by Jeff Davis, from September of 1993. All in flashback, Homer recounts his time with the Barbershop Quartet called the B Sharps, which is a straight send-up of the history of the Beatles, which, again, the Beatles are my favorite musical act. The group featured Principal Skinner, Apu, and Chief Wiggum, later replaced by Barney. The group became music stars with their hit song Baby on Board and won a Grammy. Eventually, Homer starts missing his family, and the group began to lose popularity, so it broke up. So, kicking off with the Springfield Swap Meet, which is that's cool. It's like going to a toy show. I work toy shows. I go to toy shows. But yeah, you find all kinds of ridiculous stuff. Moe's handicraft booth with clamshells that look like Lucille Ball.
Lucille Ball.
What?
And Lisa finds the vintage Malibu Stacy doll, and they're like, they had to take her off the market when some kid poked his eyes out.
The Bible trading cards, religion, learning. Yeah. Let's get out of here. Yeah. Oh, 5 cents each. Action Comics #1. He's picking stuff up. Picks up a violin. Stratohoovius.
Yes.
Oh, Melvin and the Squirrels, part of the rodent invasion in the early 1960s. Yeah, so Alvin and the Chipmunks. But then, Lisa finds a B Sharp record cover, and Lisa starts talking them up about it. And Homer says, guys, don't you guys remember that? And Bart's classic line, "Dad, thanks to television, I can't remember what happened 8 minutes ago."
And everybody laughs. He's like, no, it's a serious problem.
And everybody keeps laughing. Yeah, I know. That's great. Yeah, just like everybody laughed at his stamp collection in the last episode. It just no wonder he's such a troublemaker. He's just completely misunderstood.
Yeah, his stamp collection, he's trying to reach out and
right.
Nobody
Terrible.
Listens.
That's where he went wrong. So the summer of 1985, Barbershop Bart says, Barbershop ain't been popular since odd 6. Bart, what did I tell you? No talking like a grizzled 1890s prospector. Concern it.
Concern it.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, they're going through and they're kind of retelling the whole story of the B Sharps. They get a manager who wants to get rid of Chief Wiggum, so they're in search for someone else, and they have I love it how the agent, his business card says stars and fortunes made and hats blocked. Yeah. I gotta have something practical to fall back on. Exactly. He's going through, and Apu is your name is now Apu de Beaumarchais, and Apu goes, that is an insult to my religion and my God, but okay. Oh, the audition.
Willie's audition. Yeah.
You can always go, Dune Tune.
Dune Tune.
And then, Chief Wiggum auditions wearing a fake mustache. And I did note that while the piano was playing, nobody was playing it. So player piano, demon piano, I don't know. Not really that important. But yes, we need a name that's funny at first, but is less so every time you hear it. The B Sharps.
B Sharp.
Yes.
Go ahead.
No, please.
When the agent recommends that Homer shouldn't advertise that he's married.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm sure if I explain it to Marge that way, she'll understand. And then it's just her sobbing.
Oh my God. Bouffant Betty.
Bouffant Betty.
Oh my gosh. And I love Homer songwriting. I do this one all the time personally. Baby on board, something, Burt Ward. And then so they finally get a song on the radio, and you go to the old folks home, you see Homer and Jasper. Homer is there, Grandpa's there listening to it, and he's like, my son's on the radio, and Jasper walks up, Paul Harvey's on, and that cracks me up because I listened to that with my grandfather when I would spend summers in South Haven with my grandfather. That just really cracked me up.
Every morning we had to listen to Paul Harvey.
That little boy that no one liked grew up to be Roy Cohen. And now you know the rest of the story. Oh my God! And it was the Statue of Liberty. Now the dog's down here. Did I forget to close it? What are you doing down here? I think April just opened the door to just mess with me because I try to keep him out of here because I don't have a permanent door for the studio yet. What do you want? You can't come up here. Oh, he's gonna. Oh well, he'll be fine. He'll be fine. Oh my goodness, this is all right. Well, you can come up then. Come on. Sorry, folks. All right. This is Petcast. You're going to walk around in circles. All right, go on back upstairs then, little weirdo. Yes, the Statue of Liberty. This enormous woman will devour us all. Yes. And I love this line, too. We had fame and fortune. Now all we needed was the approval of record company lowlives. And so they go to the Grammys. And at the after party, you get a cameo from Beatle George Harrison. Yep. Hello, Homer. I'm George Harrison. Oh, my God. Where did you get that brownie? There's been played to them over there. Oh, but things take a downturn. They're in the studio. The ideas aren't coming. This is worse than your song about Mr. T. Oh, and then yes, you get Barney is John Lennon, and he brings in his own Yoko, and they recorded their avant-garde classic number 8, and it's just Barney burping. So Revolution number 9 from the White Album, of course. Yes. And things come to an end when Us Magazine's Hot and Not list comes out. Are we hot? We are not. I quoted this just today, recording SFU about something. Oh, and life goes back to normal. But of course, because Homer has had this, remembering experience, he now wants to have a reunion, and they do so on the roof of Moe's, a la the Beatles rooftop concert in Let It Be, which was, just came out on HBO last year, finally. George Harrison drives by. It's been done. And the human fly. Hello, human fly here. Come on. I was up all night dyeing my underwear. And then the Lou and Chief Wiggum they're all standing around. Hey, it's pretty nice, isn't it, Chief? Sure is, Lou. Bring in the tear gas.
Still got a little beef, I think, there, Wiggum.
Oh my gosh, that's some good fluting, boy. Oh my goodness. Well, we're just flying through. Is this our last one? This is our last one.
It's
My
our last
goodness.
one. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So it's number 17 is Bart Gets an Elephant. Oh my God. Directed by Jim Reardon. John Schwartzwelder is again the writer from March of 1994. The family's stuck cleaning the house, but Bart wins a radio contest and chooses the gag prize, an elephant, instead of the real prize, $10,000 cash. The radio station eventually gets Bart his elephant, which is named Stampy. When taking care of Stampy gets too expensive, Homer decides to sell him to an ivory dealer rather than to turn him over to a not-for-profit animal refuge. Great choice. Bart tries to run away with Stampy, but the elephant escapes. They track him down, and Homer finally agrees to give him to the animal refuge. Just kicking it right off when they say the house is dirty. It's horrifying that, you know, Marge is walking through. She walks down the stairs. She's kind of doing the bowling ball, underpants, more underpants. Oh my gosh.
Steps on a sandwich.
Homer gives us the classic son, when you participate in sports, it's not about whether you win or lose. It's how drunk you get.
Yep.
Everybody knows that's where that's at. Oh, I got a cat invader. You stop it. Anyway,
there's
yeah, please.
The real quick shot as they're painting over like the disgusting house, you know, how everything's tore up. There's footprints on the ceiling. like dirty, muddy footprints like on the ceiling. It's like, how? Gosh. Like it's so good.
It's well, we find out later in the Simpsons movie it was Spider Pig.
Yes, Spider Pig, and that's something that I sing all the time.
Absolutely, Spider Pig,
Spider Pig, all the time.
Oh my goodness. Homer solution, because he picks the basement as a leaf blower, which is an awesome choice. Oh, and yes. Marge is telling him, you know, how many of these old newspapers and TV guides do you need? He says, it's not 1985 now, but who knows what tomorrow will bring. Yes. And these TV guides, so many memories. Gomer Pyle. Sarge gets angry at Gomer's antics. I remember that episode. Pyle Shazam! Pyle Shazam!
Shazam!
Oh my gosh!
When Homer trips out.
Oh God! And all the mascots are trying to kill him.
And all the mascots try to kill him. Yeah.
Oh, KBBL is going to give me something stupid, which I also love. $10,000 in an elephant. Of course, Bart's going to make the obnoxious choice. But he says that, he says, no, I want the elephant. And they say they can't do it. They try him. It's a gag gift, kid. He says, no, I want an elephant. And the newspapers catch wind of it. I love the headline, KBBL cheats straight A student.
Yes. I like how Homer's like trying to tell Bart that no, they want the money. He was like, with $10,000, we'd be millionaires.
Yeah, exactly. We could buy things like love. Oh, so anyway, yes, they finally get the elephant. I love when it gets dropped off. Marge says, Homer, it looks like it could gore. Yeah, it does look like Al Gore. Oh, and then yes, so he gets chained up to the tree in the backyard, and Lisa is admonishing Homer for just, you know, not being great to the elephant. Keeping him chained up is cruel. Pulling his tail is cruel. Yelling in his ears is cruel. So forgive me for being cruel.
Now I've had my head in an elephant, a hippo, and a giant sloth.
Oh, so they finally get around to making some money by charging for elephant rides. I think this is the first time we see Cletus, the slack-jawed yokel.
You know what? I was going to say that. That's in my notes, is that was the first time I think we see Cletus.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. Well, the ivory dealer says, I need a large African elephant, and I need one today. Well, yeah. Well, that's what we got. He says, well, it is, and it isn't, if you know what I mean. I use that one sometimes, too. And he's going through his resume: whale hunter, seal clubber, president of the Fox Network. That's Mr. Blackheart. And he says, all right, it's a deal. Here's the keys. Elephants don't have keys. I'll just keep these then.
I like the running gag throughout the whole episode where the pets are trying to constantly get their attention.
Love you. Yeah. Oh, yeah. They're dancing. Or when he first shows up, you see the pets run down the street to just over the horizon, stick their heads back up, and then he trumpets again, and they go back down again.
I don't know why that's so cute to me. They're just like
Oh,
way off in the distance, and it's so cute
I
too.
know. Oh, it's because cats and dogs putting their baby girl. I know the pet cast. Mine have wandered off. I don't know what they were doing down here, but maybe April's like, oh, well, okay, I'll just let them downstairs. So yeah, Patty and Selma in the tornado. That was good too.
Yeah.
I didn't write down what they said, but it was something akin to, updraft with skirts or something. So
Well, and
yeah,
it's just following the path of destruction.
yeah,
It's
exactly.
just really pretty.
Stampy goes on a rampage and he heads towards the peanut factory. And then the foreman of the peanut factory was, well, we trained for this 2 hours a day. Some of you said I was crazy. Some of you asked to be transferred to a different peanut factory. And then Stampy crashes in anyway. So, yes, he finally decides to take him to an animal refuge. And then Stampy he's attacking other elephants. And he's just in general being a jerk. And they're like, well, I thought bringing him here would solve the issue. And he says, well, animals are a lot like people. Some are nice and some are kind, and or some are, some they treated badly, and some of them are just jerks. So I think that's the ultimate conclusion, that Stampy was just a jerk. So, oh, what a whirlwind adventure! And the thing is, we could do 5 episodes per season, but the overall thought is hopefully you enjoyed listening to us talk about it, and it fills you with nostalgia, so you go back and watch them. All episodes of Simpsons are available on Disney Plus. Well, let's go through and we'll do some favorites and all that kind of good stuff. I even had a quote from an episode we didn't talk about, but favorite overall episode of the season?
Bart gets an elephant.
Oh yeah, big time.
Yep. You really see how much Bart cares. Like, you know what I mean? Like you see into his heart in that episode. I really like it.
I dug it. For me, it was Deep Space Homer. It was a multitude of classic lines, even though I ended up picking a different one. Ultimately, I loved it, and plus, it has the name of the episode is a pun on Star Trek. So how's that not going to win me over? So all right, least favorite episode of the season.
Boy Scouts in the Hood.
Oh yeah, even with Ernest Borgnine and the offshore Krusty Burger.
Yeah, there's a couple of good zingers in there, but for the most part, it just kind of drags.
Yeah, for me, the dud was Bart's Inner Child with the. It was the motivational speaker Brad Goodman. I don't know. That one just didn't really. I mean, so many gems. That one was just kind of a miss for me. So okay. Top quote of the season
was in Bart Gets an Elephant, and Marge is trying to stop them from leaving the house because they all are going to take off and leave the mess. And Bart says, like, I can't, it's hard for us to leave with you standing in the way, Mom. And Homer says, push her down, son.
Push her down, son. Oh, all right. And then for me, and I picked an episode that we didn't even talk about. It was from the Springfield with a dollar sign, or in parentheses, how I learned to love legalized gambling. This is the episode where Marge becomes addicted to gambling because Mr. Burns opened a casino. And so Homer is left to care for the children, including making it the last minute Lisa's costume for the state capitol, or the states of the state capitol pageant, and she makes her as Florida, which she misspells as Florida, which is the only thing that I call the state when I have a chance. And her quote is, first of all, Ralph says, "I'm Idaho," which is a classic, but she says, "I'm not a state, I'm a monster." Oh, Ralph! Some of the best quotes go to Ralph. Ralph, me fail English. Yeah. That's impossible. Oh my goodness! Oh, this has been a blast. So yes, we will continue this segment. We will get on to season 6 in the upcoming runs of the episode. Again, thank you to all of our patrons for joining us. Candy, thank you for coming on board. I know we record these at all hours of the night. It's funny. You usually record when your husband goes to work. I record with my partner Mark, our Star Wars show, when he can get his kid to bed. He has a 3-year-old son. So everybody's got schedules. So I'm very grateful that you made time for me. Where do people find you out there on the internets and such?
You can find me on all the things. At Sweets for a Sweet. So that's Sweets, the number 4, a Sweet. You sometimes throw cosplay in there, but most of the time it's just Sweets for a Sweet.
I love it. Good deal. And as always, you can find me over on Twitter at the C3. Just go ahead and spell it out. My lovely wife, April, and I do run the USS Grand Petoskey. That is a chapter of the International Star Trek Fan Club, one of the biggest in the world. You can find us on a website of that name. If you're a Trekker who's listening to my voice and want to meet other Trekkers, I can help make it happen. So with that, to all of our wonderful Patreons, thank you as always. We love you. And we'll see you next time. The Simpsons. Bye-bye.